So I think we'll start the session. Thank you all for joining us today. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you, depending upon where you're tuning in from today. Welcome to our webinar on Booking.com Seamless Experience with STAAH, Do More with Less. Thank you for taking out time from your busy schedules. I'm sure everyone's pretty busy at this stage, but I'm sure we'll get you some value out of this webinar. Moving on, just before we start, we'd just like to run through some quick housekeeping tips. So all participants have been muted upon joining. If you have any questions during the session, feel free to pop them into the Q&A tab that you will see on the bottom of your screen, and we have a couple of our team members helping out with answering those questions, but we will have some time towards the end of the session to answer them also. You will see a few poll questions being that will show up during the webinar. So feel free to post in your views, cast in your views on the polls, and it's completely anonymous. And for the best experience, we recommend that you close all your browser tabs and just leave this tab open in front of you to make sure that you can only see my screen. So kia ora, for all of those that are new to STAAH, we provide various solutions from distribution to direct bookings, online reviews, and voucher management. We make every process easier, faster, and more connected. STAAH has over 15 years of experience in hospitality technology and has over 20,000 happy customers across the globe in 90 plus countries. We do have about 450 plus groups, which vary between hotels and motels, utilizing our services, and we connect with over 500 OTAs, so they're integrated partners that you can potentially connect with at any given point of time when you connect with STAAH. So wherever you're tuning in from, irrespective of which part of the world you are, whether you're a STAAH veteran or you're just curious to learn about STAAH, you're in good company for sure. So STAAH has been a premier connectivity partner with Booking.com for a few years now, but very recently STAAH received the Booking.com Seamless Experience badge. We were actually one of the first providers from a pool of 600 other connectivity providers to receive this badge. So it's quite a prestigious badge for us. And you will, during the process, during the entire webinar, you will understand why we have received this and what goes into getting this badge from a connectivity provider perspective. So once again, I'm Arnold Aaron. I'm the customer success lead for Oceania at STAAH and your host for today's session, along with my friend Robbie from Booking.com. So I have a background in hospitality, and I've been with STAAH for 6+ years. I've always been passionate about creating great customer experiences, and now I just do it behind a screen instead of from a reception desk. Outside of work, I'm a travel junkie. So fun fact, I'm actually building a camper van for myself, and I'm hoping to explore New Zealand with my family once, on one campsite at a time. So looking forward to taking you all on a quick journey through insights, stories, and a few laughs today. So let's hit the road digitally for now. So today's agenda from Booking.com, we'll hear about some interesting travel trends and also the journey to seamless partner experience. From a STAAH perspective, you'll learn about smart onboarding and integration. So we'll tell you about how you can sign up with Booking.com, how we can fetch data from Booking.com, and also the end-to-end Booking.com management functionality that we have embedded within our system. So that relates to creating creating room types and rate plans, messaging guest features, marking bookings as no-shows, and so on and so forth. So I would like to introduce my friend Robert Csenar from Booking.com. So I'll hand over to him. He's a pro when it comes to partner performance, travel, and trends, and everything in between that. He has got some great insights lined up, so grab your notepads. Robert, over to you.
Thank you, Arnold. That's a fantastic intro. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining. And thank you, STAAH, for having Booking.com and me to talk about seamless experience and Booking.com in general. My name is Robbie. I'm a connectivity partner business manager here at Booking.com based out of Singapore. We can move to the next slide. I have actually had the pleasure of working in various roles across the supply side of our business, spending time in Thailand, Japan, and Europe. Besides that, on a personal note, I am not living the dream that Arnold lives, building a camper van, but that's also something that I want to do at some point. But I am an enthusiastic traveler, but more so, I'm also a host. I am having vacation rentals in Europe in two countries. So I'm using Booking.com platform as a booker, as a guest, and also as an employee. So I have seen things from different angles. Today, we are really going to dig into how we can create a truly seamless experience for everyone involved, both guest side and the partner side. So ultimately, how to do more with less. This ties directly into Booking.com's core mission to make it easier for everyone to experience the bird. For those who might be new to us and new to Booking.com, just a refresher, Booking.com is one of the world's leading digital travel companies. We connect millions of travelers every single day with incredible places to stay and amazing experiences. And this is also with travel options. So whether you are looking for a hotel, apartment, cozy vacation rental, transportation, experiences, our goal is to finding and booking your perfect trip to make finding those trips as easy as possible. But there cannot be any webinars and sessions without some exciting travel trends. So let me share a couple of them just to as a warm-up. To help us understand where travel is headed, Booking.com actually has commissioned an extensive research. We surveyed over 27,000 travelers across 33 countries just to understand and create some and get to know travel predictions for 2025. Just for you to know, this research was conducted with adults planning to travel for either business or leisure in the next 12 to 24 months. And the survey was completed in July last year, July and August last year. So let's first up, let's take a quick peek in some of the most trending travel destinations globally. You see travel destinations from all continents. I think travelers are almost a copy of me. I also would love to visit these places, and I haven't been to most of these places, so travel trends are maybe changing. The survey also really did reveal some interesting travel trends for 2025. Today, we are going into zoom on a travel trend, which is about technology. And there is also no webinar these days about talking about webinars, but it ties perfectly into the discussions around what a seamless experience truly means here to us at Booking.com. So talking about AI and the future of travel, if you go back still to the slide, Arnold, so it's probably no surprise that AI will play a bigger role for travel this year and probably going forward as well. We are seeing travelers increasingly use technology like AI to discover alternative, less crowded locations, for example, helping them to avoid those popular hotspots that can get a little bit overwhelmed. Interestingly, many travelers are even choosing not to tag locations on social media so that if they find a hidden gem, then they want to keep it that way. They want to keep it under wraps and to avoid influx of Insta tourists or a bigger crowd. We are also seeing a rise in travelers using apps in real time during the trip and at the location where they are to manage overcrowding and to inform themselves about destinations on the go. There's a clear sense of travelers applying a more responsible lens to how they are using technology. This is a little bit interesting, and also I can acknowledge that as a millennial, for example, and also Gen Z, a big portion of this traveler group actually wouldn't travel to a destination if they couldn't tag the destination. So it's very interesting dynamics between the generations as well on how we are using technology and how we are traveling. Moving on, ultimately it really comes down to this. Travelers will be using AI to make much better and more informed decisions about their journeys. So with these evolving traveler behaviors and new technologies, let's circle back to our mission, making it easier for everyone to experience the world. We will explore what is actually happening on the back end, behind the scenes, to make this mission a reality. So if we move on, Arnold, it's probably no surprise to you that Booking.com operates in a two-sided marketplace. We are serving both the travelers, but also on the other side, the accommodation partners. Our focus is truly on innovating for both sides, ensuring the best matchmaking capabilities, and critically, truly creating a seamless experience for everyone involved, so on both sides. Let's look at the traveler experience first that we are building. If we go to the next slide and the following slide. So the traveler experience that we want to build is where the seamless end-to-end travel experience comes in. Historically, even when I started at Booking 14 years ago, online travel has meant that booking flights, hotels, and activities were handled separately. And often that was creating a very fragmented traveler experience. Our vision for a great traveler experience is what we call the connected trip. That's our answers to today's needs, bringing all those elements together in a single unified platform, eliminating the need for the traveler to juggle between multiple platforms and multiple apps. Think about it this way. We are looking to replicate and improve probably the old human travel agent that we used to use and our parents used to use, where the travel agents knew our preferences, managed everything, and helped when things went wrong. With digital technology, and especially with AI, we believe that we can do even a better job and at a massive scale. So ultimately, the goal is to be the single point of contact for if flights get delayed or something unexpected happens, and the traveler shouldn't call multiple providers. So the connected trip envisions one place where you can manage all your issues and traveler needs. On the flip side, if we move on the traveler side, there's tremendous work also going into that. Let me show you on what work is going on in the back end. So our partner mission is clear. If we move to the next slide, Arnold, is to source the most competitive and relevant supply for travelers by becoming our partners, so accommodations like yours, long-term strategic partner of choice. Why and how becoming a strategic partner? Well, we simply can do anything for the travelers without taking into account the hospitality tech providers like STAAH as well, that the accommodation partners are using to make your life easier. And that is precisely where connectivity becomes a crucial enabler for this entire strategy. So what is the partner experience that we are striving to build? If we move on, what we hear constantly from our accommodation partners, and you can echo that in a chat if you want and comment on that you are preferring to make your commercial decisions and actions directly in your chosen platform and software. In this case, it's probably STAAH. But whether if it's a small guest house or a large hotel that you are working for, and the role and the segment, the provider setup is influencing which softwares are used for specific tasks. Partners find it more efficient, and who blames them? I am also like that as a host, to stick with my own software and your own software rather than constantly jumping between multiple OTA extranets. But we are not there yet, and we know that we have problems. If we move to the next slide, Arnold, we know that accommodations face real challenges today, especially around three topics. And this is coming again from a survey from hotel partners, that the three topics are reservation management, payment management, and setting up and managing property content. Because again, let's think about it, that if you are using multiple platforms and multiple OTAs and multiple channels and also your own channels, then these become very, very crucial that all of these foundational items are working seamlessly. So what we hear with reservation management, for example, that's something that happens more often than we would want to, is that a guest has an invalid credit card. So then the reservation agent at the property needs to leave the PMS, go to an OTA extranet, and then may take the actions and then go back to the PMS. That is not really efficient, especially if we talk about multiple OTAs. When it comes to payment management, then it's about centralizing data, including the payout amounts. It is crucial, especially if you are working for a larger property. And our partners are reporting that they are seeing mismatches between the partner data and the financial data across multiple systems, which then needs that you need to manually fix those mistakes. And that's also, again, not an efficient setup. And setting up managing property content, that was and is important, and probably with the coming of AI will be more important because data and details need to be accurately displayed. All these new tools that OTAs are using and travel technology companies are using are based on the data and the details that are provided, and keeping track of those in actually multiple platforms is a real pain point. So this is why it's critical, why we are addressing these. Moving on, we truly believe that a seamless experience for our partners directly will result in a more seamless experience for travelers, because credit card data is correct, if content is correct. So the expectations are right from the beginning. So at the end of the day, the customer, our traveler, is absolutely at the center of our universe, but that's only possible through travel tech companies like STAAH to make that happen. So how are we achieving a seamless experience for travelers? That requires to ensure that the right foundational functionalities are enabled by our providers. These foundational needs actually differ depending on segment, of course, whether you are a vacation rental or a hotel. And this is what ultimately creates the offer for the traveler, like content, photos, amenities, room type, rate plans, cancellation policies, payments options, but also restrictions. So this is what we call foundational functionalities. And what does good look like, Arnold? Let's show that to our viewers and listeners, if you move on to the next slide. So good looks like for us, if these foundational elements, all these foundational elements are effortless with a technology provider available to our accommodation partners, which means onboarding new properties, managing property content and photos, setting up managing room types, rate plans, policies, but also supporting different pricing models, enable payments by Booking.com solutions, but manage availability and restrictions is always a core. And of course, to enable and process new, modified, or cancelled reservations. For every single listing managed by a provider, these 7 elements need to be on green, meaning that they are fully aligned and connected to ensure that the listing shows up perfectly to our travelers on the front end. And this brings me to some very exciting news that also Arnold actually shared, that STAAH was not one of the first seamless providers that Booking.com acknowledged with the badge, but was actually the first provider that we acknowledged last year with our seamless product badge. What does seamless means in this context? It means that partners using STAAH can truly use their interface of choice, which is STAAH, and not to have to go to our extranet for these foundational solutions. We think this is a huge step forward, and Arnold will share later on what this means in practice. We are at Booking investing in these foundational solutions to be more resilient, faster, and more accessible for accommodation partners. And if you have more desires and needs, please let us know through your provider and contact at STAAH. We are always happy to listen to feedback and improve on these. So let's talk a little bit about the improved integration with STAAH. If we move to the next slide, essentially it means that everything you used to do on the extranet, actually and more, can be now done directly within the STAAH interface. And Arnold will go into this a little bit shortly. We are constantly adding new solutions and new capabilities because partner needs and the world around us is evolving and changing. But you see here a couple of things that you can manage today, and we will hear a little bit more from Arnold later. So what are the key takeaways that I wanted to share with you? First, that we want to be truly your strategic partner of choice, making your life working with Booking.com easier and as seamless as possible. And what we believe in, that we enable you on all the platforms to do this work, be it a mobile app that you're using, Pass for Booking.com or the Booking.com extranet, but also our third-party travel tech providers like STAAH. And second and lastly, that we want to enable you to use the services your way. This can be the service of your choice, be it extranet, Pass, or STAAH extranet. Thank you for your attention today. I will be back later for answering your questions and also reviewing your answers at the poll. Thank you, Arnold.
Thank you so much, Robbie. Thanks for those insights. And in fact, I saw one of the polls that was submitted, and it said that which is your preferred interface. And to your point, 72% actually said that Channel Manager is the preferred interface over a PMS or the OTA extranet. So to that point, I think we're moving in the right direction, where we'll show everyone how to use the STAAH interface and how they can manage rates, sorry, not rates, but how they can manage room types, rate plans, manage their Booking.com features right from STAAH. So thanks, Robbie. And moving on. So the first thing that we would like to start up with from a STAAH perspective is if you do not have a Booking.com account and you are using STAAH, it's actually with this whole seamless experience, we've got the ability to sign up a STAAH customer directly with Booking.com. Now, you may be a brand new hotel or motel or a B&B, or you may be a property management company who signs up listings on a regular basis, who aren't on Booking.com. It is quite actually easy to do that right from the STAAH extranet. So pretty much you have everyone who is on this call who is connected to STAAH already have access to this portal. So pretty much all you have to do is you have to go into the mapping section within STAAH, and then you want to sign up to a new account. So what it'll ask you is, do you have an account or a contract with Booking.com? You go yes or no. So in this case, obviously, you'll go no. Once you go no, it asks you for a few more details about the account that needs to be signed up with Booking.com. Once you sign that up, what happens next is it will send you an email with the agreement, an accommodation agreement from Booking.com. Is sent out to your STAAH registered email. But potentially what you could, while you're waiting for that email to come in, and I tested it the other day, it actually was pretty instant. So pretty much while you hit the submit button on the previous page, it sends out an email. You can accept all the terms and conditions, or if you want to read through it, not a problem, you can go back to that later. But what you can actually do is you can click on the complete setup button that you see on the bottom out here, and you can start setting up your room types and rate plans in STAAH straight away. You don't have to wait to accept the agreement and then only continue building your room types, rate plans, or anything else related to that. So it's a pretty seamless process. It quickens the whole process. You don't have to go ask questions to anyone. You don't have to sign up on a third-party platform anywhere else. It's all happens within the STAAH extranet. So if you haven't had a look at it, if you want to sign up a property soon, make sure you follow this process, and I'm sure it'll be very quick for you. The next thing that we have for you is the Booking.com fetch data feature. So this was launched quite recently, probably about 6-8 months ago. And what this allows us to do is it actually allows us to get data like room, property information, availability rates, restrictions, and a few other details right from Booking.com. So pretty much what happens in this case is we do the heavy lifting for you. Like you can see in this picture out here. So we pull in the data from Booking.com for you, especially when you are probably going to be signing up with STAAH as a brand new user. So what happens in this case is the beauty of this entire process is that while you connect STAAH as a channel manager just to pull in the data, your existing channel manager, if you already have one, actually is still connected to Booking.com. Which means that your availability rates restrictions are still going out from your existing channel manager. If any new booking was made via the Booking.com platform, it still drops it into your old channel manager while STAAH is pulling in the data. And the best part of it is this whole process of pulling data in from Booking.com, like your room types, availability rates, restrictions, profile information, takes literally a matter of 15 to 20 minutes. If it's a larger property, it may take a little longer if there's quite a few room types and rate plans, but generally, till what I have seen, it barely takes about 15 to 20 minutes. And like I said, it is useful, especially if you are a property that's signing up very recently with STAAH. So to give you an idea, property bills earlier used to be related where we had to send out a property information sheet. The property had to fill that up, send it back to us. Then we loaded the data in STAAH. Now, within a matter of few minutes, that whole process has actually gone away. We pull the data in, which means it's a faster setup, fewer errors, and it's much quicker over the entire process. Now, coming down to room and rate plan management. Now, this is partly related to, let's say you sign up a brand new property with Booking.com, but also, sorry, just before I continue with this, you will see a poll question that has probably come up on your screen. So feel free to put in your answers or select your choices in from there, and we'll go through the answers later on. If you are, or if you have created a brand new room type on Booking, if there's a brand new room type at your property that you would like to list on Booking.com, you no longer have to go into Booking.com, load all the information in out there, load all the images, and then come back into STAAH and then connect it all up for you, or connect it and complete the channel mapping. The seamless experience, what that does is when you hit the map button that you see in the background out here, it actually allows you to create, like you see the highlighted option out here, where it allows you to create a brand new room type on Booking.com. When you hit that button, what happens is it pretty much asks you to enter some room information, things like what sort of a room type is it, how many guests can it take, what is the layout of the room type, how many beds, extra beds can it take, what's the location of the room type, and what are the room amenities for that room. So you just enter that basic information like you would always do at any given point of time. Then it's time to either link up to an existing rate plan that you probably already had on Booking.com, or you can create a brand new one by just following the steps that are given on the when you're setting up your new room type. Once you're done with that, pretty much you have to enter your cancellation policy for that specific rate plan, whether it's going to be non-refundable, whether it's going to be fully refundable, partially refundable. You can decide and choose and select your cancellation policy. And finally, once you hit the submit button, what happens is that Booking.com actually, you see this wizard in front of you. Now, if you see 4 ticks in front of you, in green ticks, what that means is your listing is your room type is actually submitted successfully to Booking.com. If you see a red X icon out here in between, which means that there has been an error while submitting the report or submitting the room type, and you just need to go back into the tab, amend whatever is required and that needs to be updated, and then resubmit that room type. And finally, after that, you're directly taken into the mapping section of STAAH, which I'll discuss what all can be done within the mapping area of the STAAH extranet. The next part of it is the create or edit rate plan. So like you create new room types from STAAH, you can also create multiple rate plans from STAAH. So this could be things like an advance purchase rate plan, a non-refundable rate plan, a bed and breakfast rate plan. All of it can be done from STAAH. In fact, very recently, I was training a customer to create a rate plan from STAAH, and they were based out of Wellington. And she was surprised that when she started creating those rate plans, in a matter of 10 minutes, she created one rate plan for every room type without having to actually raise a support ticket with us. So that is what we call seamless, because she did not have to log in into booking.com to do any of it. It all happened from the STAAH extranet. So if you need to create a new rate plan from STAAH, again, you just click on the map button that you see on the top out there in the background, and select the option which says create a brand new rate plan. In the same, when you're creating a rate plan, sorry, when you're creating rate plans, you also have the ability to edit rate plans. Existing rate plans can be edited from STAAH, so that option is also available in the STAAH extranet. Once you hit the create rate plans, you'll be shown the screen where you need to enter general rate plan information. And all you have to do after that is click on map. And this will directly take you onto the mapping page, where once again you just need to enter things like your rate modifiers and any information around that front. So like I said, once you create a rate plan, you can also edit those rate plans if you need to right from STAAH. The next one is the mapping process. So I'm sure all of those who have joined here and are already STAAH users, you would have come across the screen at some point. Either you've gone to explore it, or you are already doing mapping in STAAH. So this mapping screen that you see out here allows you to actually connect existing rate plans from booking.com that were created in booking.com previously. It allows you to link them up with STAAH, or it also allows you to edit those rate plans if you need to. So once you hit on the next button, so that is map to an existing room type or rate plan in booking.com, and you hit on the next button, what comes up is the screen where you can actually enter your PMS rate code IDs. You can enter your occupancy, your rate modifiers, any minimum length of stays, or any advanced purchases, and that sort of stuff. And once you hit submit, an auto sync is sent out to booking.com. So before we jump into the promotion section, we had a poll just now. And the question was, how frequently do you run promotions on booking.com? So the option, so what we got out of that is that 17% said that they run promotions weekly. 28% run promotions on a monthly basis. Majority, which is 47%, said that they only do it during special events, and only 7% said that they do not do promotion. They do not do promotions at all. So a pretty interesting stat. So for all of those that do manage promotions on booking.com, we do have an OTA promotion tab right from STAAH. You can do multiple OTAs from there, but today we'll speak about how you can do the booking.com side of it. So when you go into the mapping section of STAAH, you can actually see two options in there when you select OTA promotions. The first option is the get promotion. So let's say you are already managing promotions in booking.com, but now you've decided to pull those promotions into STAAH and manage them right from the STAAH extranet. So what that means is you can edit those promotions, you can change the settings on them, or you can disable them completely. So that's what the get promotion icon that you see on the top out there. The second option is where you go and add in a new promotion. When you add in a new promotion, what you see is for booking.com, there is 5 different types of promotions that you can create. One is the basic one. So this is where you create one for those Genius Booker customers or just general customers, apply a minimum length of stay if required, and set it out for booking.com. But then you also have the early booker, which is also what we call advanced purchase. You've got the last minute booker deals. You've got the geo rates, which is based off countries, and then you've got the mobile rates. So again, like millennials nowadays tend to use mobiles quite often to book. If you want to target those customers, mobile rate is the way to go. So anyways, so going down into the promotion side of it, you can create promotions right from STAAH, or you can manage your existing promotions that are there on booking.com right from the STAAH extranet. The next one, which is a pretty interesting one, is the Booking.com messaging feature. And I'm sure you would receive messages from customers that book via Booking.com quite often. And your team would generally need to probably go into Booking.com, log in, and then reply to them. But what if I say that, there is an easier way to do that, where you get notified of a new message on Booking.com. You actually, if your reservations team is already logged into STAAH, they can actually reply to those guests right from the STAAH extranet. Now, where would you find this in the STAAH extranet? It's across in the booking.com, it's in the bookings tab that is available in STAAH. That's where you see a list of all your reservations. Just search the reservation that you want to see the message for, and click on the action button. That shows you a little messaging letter icon that you see out there. And once you click open it, you will see a chat box. And this is where you can chat with your customer and reply to them straight away based on whatever their message may be. The beauty of this is that once you reply to the customer, that sends out a message to booking.com, and the customer gets notified that they have a message and they need to read it. They can reply, and then you can again reply from the STAAH extranet. So again, you can message a customer right from STAAH. So you don't have to keep logging in and logging out to respond to customers. We've got some additional features that we wanted to highlight in today's session, since we are talking about booking.com. One of them being the mark booking as no-shows. I think quite an important tool for all of us to look at, because at some point everyone has a no-show. So what this does is it allows you to mark a reservation as a no-show from the arrival day of the booking. So let's say today was the arrival day, you'll actually see the no-show button for that reservation in STAAH straight away. And once you mark the booking as a no-show, you see 3 further options in there. So this will be things like, do you want to waive the no-show fees? Because probably the customer contacted you and they said that, they had a genuine reason, a health reason or whatever, and you said, not a problem, we'll waive your no-show fees. Then you hit that option out there and hit submit. The other one is the charge no-show feature. So in this case, you weren't able to contact the customer, and you said that, yep, I'm going to charge the customer. So in that case, you hit the second option. And the third one is, I guess, pretty self-explanatory. You tried to charge the card, but the card was invalid. So you hit option number 3, so that booking.com knows that that's what has happened with the mark booking as with that no-show reservation. We do have the report guest misconduct feature. I like to think of this sort of like a reverse review of a customer. So if they can review us, we can probably report if they have done any misconduct at the property when they stayed with you. So every reservation that comes in from booking.com, you will see when you open that reservation, you will see a report guest misconduct option button that you will see on the bottom of the screen of that specific reservation. Now, this would generally appear 1 day after the guest has arrived, or 1 day after the check-in date, and it appears all the way up to 7 days post guest checkout. So you've got enough time to report guest misconduct if you ever need to. Now, once you hit that report guest misconduct button, what comes up in front of you is you need to enter some information around some predefined misconduct categories. Now, this is defined by booking.com. So you just select what category this specific guest fits in, any subcategories, any additional information. Do you want to escalate this report to someone within booking.com? And finally, would you allow this customer to rebook with you, yes or no? Now, once you hit the submit button, you can actually, within STAAH itself, you can see the log of your report and what action has been taken across it. We've got the mark credit card invalid. I mean, I'm sure each one of you has probably had this situation, maybe not booking.com, but other OTAs where the booking has come in, it's a hotel collect reservation, you went to charge it, and the card declined, or because of insufficient funds, or the card was invalid, or whatever. So we have the mark card invalid feature right in STAAH. So pretty much what you'd be doing is, instead of logging into booking.com, searching the reservation, marking the card invalid, you can go into STAAH, search the booking, or if you're already in STAAH, one step less. You go into STAAH, search the booking, open that reservation, and then just hit the card invalid button out here. This will notify booking.com that the card is invalid, and it'll probably also request the guest for a new reservation, especially if it is quite a bit outside of the, if there's quite a bit of a time frame between the arrival date and the date you're trying to charge the card. So it gives the guest an opportunity to provide you with a good new card number. So I think this is a very, very good feature, and I would definitely recommend, if you haven't used it, utilized it yet, something for you to look at. And finally, you've got the virtual card management feature. So this is a tool where you can actually see all virtual cards, that is channel collect bookings, right in one space. So what this does is it lists all the virtual card reservations in here. It shows you what the card balance is, whether the card is funded, partially funded, or whatever the status of the VCC is. And it also allows you to click on the view booking button to open it up and further see that reservation. Now, let's say you charged a card, the booking has to be refunded because the booking needs to be canceled, and it is within the cancellation period. Not a problem. That card will now appear under the virtual card to refund option. In that, it will tell you the status of the status of the virtual card, whether it has been refunded, yet to be refunded, and so on. So it's a pretty neat process. What we have done is we've tried to get all the booking.com, I think the big booking.com features all within STAAH, so you don't have to constantly keep logging into booking.com, because we know STAAH is probably your main point of use on a day-to-day basis. So we've come nearly towards the end of our session. So some key takeaways from the STAAH perspective. So faster onboarding, quicker go live. So sign up with booking.com directly from your STAAH extranet and get your property live faster, and which basically means no paperwork, no delays, no back and forth with anyone from anywhere. Centralized room and rate management. So we are saving hours of manual work by managing all booking.com room types and rate plans right from STAAH itself. So again, we say one login, one platform, full control of your extranet from STAAH. Maximize visibility with easy promotions. So launch and manage booking.com promotions straight from STAAH itself, which helps attracting more customers and increase your occupancy effortlessly. All guest communications in one place. So like I showed you, reply to messages, report bookings as no-shows, flag payment issues, which is basically charge credit card, invalid credit cards. All of those can be done right from STAAH itself, so that you don't have to keep switching on platforms. So you may be hearing the same theme everywhere, where do everything from STAAH instead of logging into multiple platforms. And finally, track your payments with confidence. So stay on top of virtual credit cards, VCCs, refunds, and payment statuses directly from your STAAH extranet. So we've come to the end of the session. If you haven't already put in your your questions in the Q&A box on the bottom, feel free to put that through, and Robbie and I will be more than happy to help you out with it. So we have a question, so from Mona. STAAH is a channel manager. If we have Agoda, Traveloka, Ticket Trip, Expedia, besides Booking.com, are all the functions the same? So Mona, just to answer your question out here, the functionality for each OTA varies. So it is best to check on the extranet what all functionality is actually available. You can also check our help center to see what all is available for that specific OTA. Hope that answers your question. I've got can you send us the video recording of the seminar? Absolutely. We will be sending one out once the presentation and the video recording will be sent out to you once it's all processed.
Questions are popping. There is also a question about guest misconduct on what the feature is used for. It is basically the replica of the Booking.com extranet guest misconduct reporting feature. If a guest is not behaving well in your property, then there is a way to report these customers so that Booking.com can take actions. And also, if there is damage at your property, etc., this is the way to report it. Mostly, it is concerning damages and other activities that are maybe not legal. Then that's what we call guest misconduct. The feature helps you again to gives you the choice to either report it on STAAH, on the Booking extranet, or the Pulse application. The choice is yours.
Thanks, Robbie. I've got a question here from Emma. Emma, good to see you on this call. So if you load a promotion via STAAH to Booking.com, can you send it to multi-channels? So Emma, to answer your question, short and sweet, every OTA's promotions are quite different. So you will have to load them in STAAH, depending on which one you can manage from STAAH. You will have to load them individually. Hope that answers the question.
But you can do it still on STAAH, right, Arnold? But separately
Yes,
per OTA.
separately. It'll all be separately. Yeah.
Great question.
So we've got, but can STAAH send an alert? Sorry, where did that one go?
Yeah,
Oh, it's gone.
maybe let's cover, Arnold, the answered questions so that everybody
Yeah,
hears them, because we had quite a few questions that were answered
by the team.
by the team in the back end.
Yeah.
So the first question is, Arnold, is it just Booking.com or how about Expedia and Agoda? Question from Aubrey.
So Aubrey, certain features are only available for Booking.com, but the promotions feature is also available for Expedia and Agoda. But you can also, I think, do rate plan and room management from STAAH for Expedia and Agoda. Hopefully that answers your question. How about for old users or someone who already have accounts mapped on STAAH? How will we be able to connect or update again? So in case, I think Shabnam has answered that. So irrespective whether you're a current user or an old user, you have full access to managing all your room types or rate plans right from STAAH itself. Doesn't matter when you signed up with STAAH. So if you go into STAAH, log in into the channel mapping page, you will see all the icons that I showed you today.
There was also a question around messaging, and the question was if photos or attachments could be sent also via your platform or via the STAAH platform. I believe yes, that we are capable of sending attachments also via our API and connectivity solution, but we will get back to you, Rishka, to confirm that.
Yeah. We've got a message from El Nina. What if the booking is pay at the property? How can we charge no-show fee? You would have the card number available on STAAH, so you can charge the customer and then hit the no-show button and then say you've charged that customer for it. That was, I think, option number 2 in my screenshot.
Then we have a question again about guest misconduct. Is it available to other OTAs as well?
Yeah, this is specifically around Booking.com, correct. So the guest can only be banned on rebooking through Booking.com only. Yes, that's right. This one would specifically be around Booking.com because that's that Booking.com's feature. It's not something that other OTAs have. So for now, it'll be Booking.com.
Thank you, Arnold. The next one is, if we connect with STAAH, we don't need to use Booking.com extranet anymore, right? Well, the answer is that this is your choice. What we are trying to build here with STAAH and our connectivity providers, that we give you the choice to use the Pulse application, the Booking extranet, or the software of your choice. We are enabling all these features so that you are not restricted, and that you can choose whatever is most comfortable for you, for your teams, because that's also dependent on who is using what. Sometimes the extranet on Booking.com has a lot of features and data that you don't want to expose to all of your employees, but this way you would have more choice. So it's not restricting you. if you start using stuff on STAAH, it's always syncing with Booking.com instantly, but it's the same impact if you do it on the Pass application or the Booking extranet. One is updating the other. Whatever you do on the extranet should be reflected immediately then in STAAH and the other way around.
Thanks, Robbie. We answered Mona's question around STAAH as a channel manager. If we have got us, we have done with that one. We have a question around that means a system and report presented today available to only for connectivity with Booking.com. Yes, that's right. Quite a few features are limited to the Booking.com integration because that's what Booking.com allows us to connect with, but certain other OTAs probably have a few features too, so best to explore it with your local support team. I think we have done with it.
Yes, I'm also checking what we haven't covered was about reviews.
Yeah.
Maybe that's an interesting one because reviews are also a feature, not in the foundational ones, but if you are using STAAH, then you are lucky. Because yes, anything regarding reviews can be managed also via STAAH. It's called Review Minder, right, Arnold, that product?
Correct, yes. Yes.
And there's also a question around charges. A very good question, because this all sounds very, very advanced that we are giving all these features to the properties. Is there any charge, Arnold?
No, there's no charge. It's all part of whatever you're already set up in STAAH, so it's all free.
Sounds amazing.
We'll run through a couple more questions before we move on. Is there an extranet feature that can't be found on STAAH for Booking.com? So we'll know if there's pros and cons. Nina, I'm not entirely sure if there is a feature that we don't have already, but if there is something, and you can probably flag it with our support team, and we can check with Booking.com on it.
Yes, but what we covered here, Anina, is around the foundational features. This is what our partners are telling us that these are the functionalities that they want to use in the software of their choice and not jumping to the extranet all the time. However, reviews was one example that we don't consider as foundational, yet we have a solution for that via STAAH, and there are a few others that we still have a solution. But there are certainly a couple of extranet specific items that are not even available via APIs or our connectivity solutions. So it's not any provider's fault if you are missing that. It's just that it's not available. But we are working on this, and please keep on sharing the feedback to Booking.com channels, on surveys, to your account managers if you want to have a feature in STAAH. We are certainly then looking into it and seeing where the work needs to be done, whether it's Booking, STAAH, or both.
Thanks, Robbie. I think if you have any more questions, please pop them through. Our team is still answering them, but we'll just need to move on with our with the slides. So just what's come up here, probably you would be aware of it, but there is a refer a friend campaign that we're currently running with New Zealand $300 campaign or equivalent in your local currency. So if you know of any hotel, motel who needs a channel manager or is wanting to move to a new channel manager, please please refer them to us. You can scan the code and send it out. We have some ebooks, some really useful ebooks, one of them being on the Hotel Online Distribution 2.0. So it's a free ebook to download. So again, scan this code that you see on your screen and you can download that ebook free of charge. So to stay in touch with us, you can check our blog pages. We keep updating that pretty regularly. Check our ebooks. If you need any help or support, if you're an existing customer, reach out to your local support team. But if you're a brand new customer, you can reach out to our sales team and ask any questions if you may have any. Robbie, I actually had one question for you. If a customer wanted to get in touch with Booking.com, what would be the best way to do so?
It's a question that always comes up, so that's great. So we prepared a slide for that. There are multiple ways to reach out to us. If we move on to the next one, Arnold. then you will see, oh, is it the next one then? But no, then we
No.
don't have a slide. Got it. So the easiest way to get in touch with us, there are multiple ways. So let's start with our partner hub. We have a very extensive knowledge base at partner.booking.com, where you will find answer to most of your questions. If there's still something missing via the extranet, you can message the booking.com teams, and the respective teams will pick it up, whether if it's finance related or otherwise, then the right people will pick it up. You can also use always the guest email address if you are a guest, for example, to reach out to booking.com, which is your reservation number, and then at booking.com, which will then go to our lovely customer service team. You will also find us at various events across the region. Since we are now predominantly having Oceania partners on the call, you will find us, and Asia, you will find us at WIT Singapore, ITB Singapore, or the STAAH Here to Stay conference in the Gold Coast, or the No Vacancy event in Sydney. Booking.com will have a booth and a team there, so feel free to approach us.
Thank you, Robbie. And thank you everyone for joining today's session. We hope you made some good notes out of it. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. Robbie, once again, thank you to you and your team for joining us in this webinar.
Very
Thanks,
welcome.
everyone, and have a great day.
Thank you, everyone. See you around.